This festive season, I don't think there is a better way than to get around your mates with the sports bet with mates. All you have to do is head onto the app, create a group with those friends of yours and get betting. My favourite part is the new chat feature that they've added so you can bet and banter all in the one place. There's plenty of sport, plenty of racing, so what are you waiting for over this period of time? You can be by the pool, around the barbie or at the beach. It does not matter. Get onto sports bets, bet with mates.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
There is a nervous energy inside RAC Arena tonight as the Perth Wildcats try and get over this slump that is going on and threatening to derail their NBL24 campaign. Here he comes again. Down it goes! That's the Bryce Cotton we know and love in the Hungry Jacks NBL. RAC Arena roars as one. Ball in the hands of Cotton. You knew what was going to happen the moment Bryce Cotton got the ball. After a tumultuous week, the Perth Wildcats organisation breathe a collective sigh of relief.
Yes, it's the Christmas that just keeps on giving this Hungry Jacks NBL24 as round 12 is in the books and round 13 kicks off tonight with one of the great rivalries in Australian basketball. The Adelaide 36ers hosting the Perth Wildcats. Alongside me, two of the very best, Southeast Melbourne superstar Alan Williams, Pete Hawley as well. And Pete, it's fair to say a lot has happened, as we saw in the opener, since the last time these two teams met. It was less than 2 months ago, incredibly. It was the start of round 6. Adelaide had won 3 of their 4 games. Perth Wildcats, well, we know their situation. The fans were calling for John Riley's head, and fair to say, things have changed.
Oh, have they what? We have a look at the ladder from back then, and it is interesting. Everyone's changed. All the positions have changed as we look at the ladder now, but have a look at that. It's unbelievable. 7th for the Sixers, 8th for the Wildcats, and even more interesting right now as we look at the ladder as it stands today. I know it looks like second versus bottom, but believe it or not, the Adelaide 36ers are closer to Perth in second spot than Perth are to Melbourne United in first. That is unbelievable, and it shows that everybody's coming for the second spot and they're trying to not fall out of the 6th spot. Can't wait for the back end of this season.
Well, we know what happened for the Adelaide 36ers. They parted ways with coach CJ Bruton. Scotty Ninnis now, his 4th game in charge. But sourced remarkably, the other coach, John Riley, what he's been able to do with this team to turn around their form has been incredible.
Yeah, as we look at the last 10 games, you just see they found their identity. That's getting Bryce Cotton the basketball. He's the most prolific scorer that we have in the NBL today, an obvious front runner for the MVP award, and everybody else is forming and finding their roles around him. That's why they've been able to pull off these W's that they've been getting.
Well, you spoke about that man, Bryce Cotton. I mean, it's been incredible what he has done. The team with 2 and 5, he was really struggling, as we saw in that opener, but his last 10 games, he has been on some sort of tear, and you've got to wonder whether, out of everything he's done in the NBL, whether this has been his most impressive season to date.
Oh, I mean, again, if you disregard the first 5 games, we see they're just 14 points, so 7 games, absolutely. He's been unbelievable, nearly 30 points a game, and he's been logging a lot of minutes, which we'll get into, and as you said, the MVP front-runner source. But I think he just realised that as long as he's lacing them up, he's going to always be the top dog. Everyone else has to come along for the ride. I think he's being too unselfish early on.
Well, we couldn't have an Adelaide 36ers home game without this man, John Casey, courtside. Welcome, Case.
Good on you, Joe. Welcome to you. Season's greetings, everyone. Fabulous atmosphere here. I really think the Adelaide 36ers hit absolute rock bottom with that 59-point game in Tasmania 26 days ago, and now they're bouncing back. And a big part of it has been the fans. They've been phenomenal here. We had a sellout crowd on Christmas Eve. We've got another near 10,000 sellout here tonight, and the support they have given this team has been nothing short of amazing. They continue to roll up despite the indifferent form of the team. Another big factor has been Jacob Wiley. I think he's their MVP at the moment. He's been outstanding this year. He's second in the league in rebounding at 8 a game, and he leads the Adelaide 36ers in assists as well. Against Brisbane on Christmas Eve, well, he ignited a 7-0 start to the game, set the tone, and went on from there. He even scored the first 7 points of the last quarter to steady the ship when Brisbane were challenging them. He is so important to this team. And the interim coach, coach Scott Ninnis, I think, deserves a lot of credit as well, because he has really stepped into the breach. The 3 weeks he's been in charge, I'm sure it's been a whirlwind for him, but he bleeds for this club. I think the head coach's job is his to lose if he can keep this team on the up. And I spoke to him pre-game about his passion for the 36ers.
I started as a skinny teenager. It's a bit hard to believe these days, but I've been very, very fortunate to be part of all 4 championships that the 36ers have had, and it's over 25 years of my life now. So it's just, I'm an Adelaide boy. To be involved with this club for as long as I have, and now to be back, to have the fortune to be back involved now is just, I just keep thanking my lucky stars. It's been awesome.
Well, he's got the monkey off the back. He got the win. He's been led by this man, DJ Vasiljevic. His last 3 games in particular have been terrific, averaging the 25 points a game, almost 5.5 assists. He's going to have a big performance again tonight as we get round 13 underway. Hungry Jacks NBL. The team's already met 3 times this year. This is the 4th meeting, incredibly. Perth lead that count 2-1. Trey Cal, Vasiljevic, Trenton Flowers, Jacob Wiley and Isaac Humphries for the 36ers.
Pulled the chair.
Pulled the chair early. We'll get the Doolittle. I know you're keen to talk about him, Halls. As Trey Cal found on the opening 3. A nice start for the 36ers.
Yeah, you know, Trey Kell there just being aggressive early, obviously scramble on the play. Clock is running down, 4 seconds left, gets his shot up and gets fouled. For a scorer like him, to be able to see some free throws getting down early is going to really open up the game for him, I think.
On the flip side, that's just a mistake from Hiram Harris. You saw the shot clock, 3 seconds to go. Trey Kell goes into that 3 ball. You just cannot afford to foul. Just carry your hand. If he knocks that down, shake his hand. You've got a long time left in this game. In the end, as you said, Saucy gets to go down and see one hit the bottom of the net and start feeling good.
We spoke about DJ having some good form under coach Scotty Innes. So Trey Kell averaging the 20 points at 50% from the field in his last 3 games. They give him more responsibility to run this team, as the Perth Wildcats have the same starting 5. Since you spoke about Sauce, they've found their identity. They're 7-1 this starting 5 combination is Doolittle, considering his red-hot form from the other night, Pete.
This is good.
He's been a massive part of that resurgence. Pete obviously talked about it on the overtime show, about him being a leading defensive player of the year candidate with his versatility on that end of the basket. But his ability to play in the mid-range, his ability to find his teammates, he just be that perfect glue guy for what they need in Perth.
It's been a masterstroke by John, really, and to change everything around. Obviously, bringing Hiram Harris in, he doesn't probably get enough praise with how good he's been in that 4 spot. But to shift Christian Doolittle from the power forward down to the small forward to be able to play that 3 spot with his size, his strength and his athleticism, rather than, so often we see it, right, when an import comes in and they're struggling, the team's struggling.
If it's a miss, go.
We usually see them go to the bench, right, to come off the bench, try and find your form. So to change that as a positional change has been a masterstroke, and yeah, he's been unbelievable on the defensive end and just quietly goes about his business offensively and chips him where he has to, which, to be honest, if you're playing alongside number 11, that's what you have to do. Just compliment that guy.
Ty Webster gets to the basket nice and easy for his first couple of points. Another one who's just really found his role in this run from the Wildcats as Humphries couldn't get that to fall. Little barometer, Isaac Humphries for the 36ers. In their wins, he's averaged 16 points a game, just 11.5 in their losses. So they want to get him going early. And you don't want to get this man going early.
Hand down, man down. You don't put a contest on there. I know how difficult that can be because he's so good at drawing those fouls, but got to carry a hand and hope he misses it.
Vasiljevic, it was awesome in that first quarter in their win over the Brisbane Bullets. Got some momentum for them going early, gets his first points. Now Doolittle works to his spot, gets it to fall. Really adding an offensive element to his game in recent weeks.
And again, he's one of those players we keep talking about. He knows his role. His role is going to be being really good defensively, crashing the glass hard, and then just knocking down some open shots and getting to the right spots.
You'd be liking this, Sauce, going to the big man early. Spoke about him being a bit of a barometer.
Yeah.
When he gets those 11 or 12 field goal attempts, they tend to win the games, and if they don't go to him enough, they tend to struggle.
Absolutely, and it starts early, right? You want to get your bigs the ball early on, have them feel involved. A guy like Isaac Humphries loves to catch the ball on the block and make that move towards the middle right there, just over the small defender, and Keanu Pender knocks it down.
Doolittle liking his matchup on Vasiljevic. 6 early points. Of course, coming off the 17-point, 16-rebound game that we did a couple of nights ago, Hulls.
Were you holding your breath? He needed one more Sauce to take the current season record off you and Kyle Bowen.
Nah.
you just want something to chase? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Thank you. Number 3. Push.
Now, I am going to keep a really close eye on it. Sunday Detch has fallen out of this rotation, which has been well documented and spoken about. In recent history, he's been the one they've put on Bryce Cotton. They know each other very well to try and say, hey, we need you to make life tough for him. He's a terrific defender, but really loves the matchup against Bryce. As you can tell, he's studied Bryce's game over the course of his career. I'm wondering if Scott Ninnis might have an in case of emergency, I need to get Sunday Detch on the floor. And if you're Sunday Detch, the one thing you don't want is that to be after Bryce Cotton's already got 10 points in the first quarter.
Sure.
Well, they had all sorts of trouble containing Nathan Sobey, didn't they, last week? 36 points, which was a record at this venue, the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. So they're going to have their hands full again with Bryce Cotton. They've started well with Perth Wildcats. 5 from 5 from the field for their 12 points as Cal draws another foul. So third early for the Wildcats.
Yeah, and I love seeing Trey Kell's aggressiveness. I like him having the basketball for this Adelaide 36ers team. He's a tremendous playmaker. Didn't get to show it as much last year with Southeast Melbourne. Had a couple of injuries. Didn't really get the rhythm and the flow going in that season. But as of late, we've been able to see what he can do in the ball screen. I think Scott Innes has done a tremendous job of putting him in that position to be able to spread the ball around for his teammates while still getting buckets.
And we also talked a little bit about John Wheeler and the positional changes, right? And so obviously giving Trey Kell the ball and those responsibilities, and also not pulling the trigger too quickly with a guy like Trenton Flowers right now, who's down on form a little bit, understanding that they've got off some pretty good starts. And this group is playing well together. And all he has to do is continue to step up when he has to. What a pass from Wiley to Humphries. They're up and about in the Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
Fast start's going to be important for the Adelaide 36ers and that win the other night. It was only the 4th time they've led at quarter time in any game. Only the 2nd time in the season they led at halftime when they beat the Brisbane Bullets. So, first and second quarters have been an issue for them. This might help. Wiley knocks down the triple. And they're feeling good about themselves.
It's a very dangerous horn set with the 2 bigs up there. Wiley popping the ability to make the 3 or the pass. As we see Tom Webster come down and knock down a mid-range shot. But going back to that horn set with those 2 bigs there, 2 skilled bigs, you can go either way. Trey Kell can see over the defender with his height.
Here's that Harvey Norman replay I'm talking about. Here's a little give and go. Fake to Vasiljevic to Humphries, and this is the set you're talking about, Sauce. They've run that 3 times in the last 4 possessions down the floor, and I'm surprised they didn't go to it again. They've got a good look at it every single time. There's wrinkles you can look at. Until Perth try and stop it, not just keep going to the well.
Vasiljevic can't get that to fall. Both teams shooting at a good clip early in this one. As John Casey said, another sold-out crowd, averaging over 8,500 at this venue as Bryce Cotton knocks down his 2nd triple. And Scotty Innes says, I think we need a timeout.
You cannot leave that man. If your guard gets cleaned up on a screen and you're the big man, so what you can attest to this, you've just got to switch. You've got to stay there and try and do all the best you can. You just can't run away from the ball if it's especially in that man's hands.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Well, Christian Doolittle, he has 8 points early in this one, but pre-game we spoke to him about the talk of the Defensive Player of the Year conversation.
The coach wants you in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year as well. Is that something you can make a goal for yourself to try and be the best defender in the league?
I mean, my goal is to help this team win. I mean, any accolade I get along the way, I'll gladly accept. But, you know, personal accolades is not what I play for. I play for team. I play to win championships. You know, I've been blessed enough to win a championship each year I've been out of college, so I want to keep that going.
Now, Pete, I know you don't want any credit, but I'm going to have to give you some here, because listening to John Riley's press conference after the win against Cairns, he said it'd be nice if people watched a little closer so they realise how much impact this man Doolittle has at the defensive end of the floor. I'm pretty sure I watched about 3 weeks ago, you flag him for the Defensive Player of the Year conversation.
On overtime with you, Source. Was going through the mid-season awards at that point, and I had him in that.
Closely enough.
Oh, JR's not an overtime fan. That's what that is. That's what that's telling me. He's not an overtime fan. It wasn't listening, and yeah, absolutely, it was. I think he's just been terrific, and again, an unsung hero. And this is the thing with a lot of awards, not all of them, but especially the best defensive player, defensive player of the year. Narrative can help, and obviously needs to help. I think he's definitely going to be a finalist the way he's been playing.
Here's Flowers. Good finish because on the second attempt as we get down to John Casey listening in to Scott Ennis.
Yeah, Joey, he was furious during that timeout. He said, we've given up 19 points here in less than 5 minutes. It's not good enough. And he wanted to get Trenton Flowers involved, and they just were able to do that at the offensive end. They're trying to get him going. He's been starting the last couple of games, but hasn't been able to give them what they want. So they're going to look to get him involved a whole lot more, and they'll enjoy that as well.
Yeah, as we saw there coming out of the timeout in their after timeout offense, it looked as if they were trying to set up a lob for Trenton Flowers there. Obviously, it came back around, and he got a back cut and a great pass from Trey Kell. But you can tell that Scott Ennis wanted to get him involved with the offense.
I think the other way to get him involved is, firstly, they need to get stops. They've given up a bucket nearly every time down the floor, because where's Flowers at his best? Out in transition. That athleticism is next level. So get stops. He's going to run the lane hard and feed him in transition. Otherwise, you don't have to run up too many plays for him. He's going to move off the ball. He's going to do what he can.
John really turns to his bench. Got Wagstaff, Saar, and Jordan Usher checking into the game for their first minutes. As Cotton looks to go one-on-one on Vasiljevic. What's the call going to be?
Flowers first here for the hand check. It's first for the hand check, and then he's retaliated.
So the foul's going to be on DJ. Doesn't like the call.
It looked like the right call. The foul, the whistle might have came a little bit late. But that was it right there before that left arm come, which then it would have been an offensive foul. So that bit that Bryce ends up, you hear Chris Reed explain it perfectly.
I'm not saying you did it on purpose, I'm just saying
I'm waiting for him. I can't give it to him. I've got to wait for him to be ready.
And it's hard because if you're Vasiljevic doing the right thing, right? You want to get Bryce Cotton off the three-point line. He's already knocked down a couple. Get him downhill. Sometimes you are going to pick up those fouls when you take a step towards this greatness.
Here's Mitch McCarron now. Playing some defence on Cotton. Good ball movement. Doolittle feeling good. Couldn't get that to drop. This is what they did so well against the Bullets, the 36ers. Not going in transition. Vasiljevic, another good feed. Been a real strength of his last couple of games. He's had some equal career high 6 assists in his last couple. And there he sets up Humphrey, scores tied.
Interesting there, they posted up Bryce Cotton. He was guarding Vasiljevic there, and they allowed DJ to start going to work. And Isaac Humphries did a tremendous job of just finding the dunker spot. As we see Trenton Flowers' energy and his defensive ability starting to come into play on that end of the basketball, drawing a foul there. Again, he's an energy guy and needs to get involved.
Is fatigue going to become an issue now for Perth?
Sure.
Their third travel game in 6 days.
Yeah, and they've travelled all around the country.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Fatigue will come into play, and we'll get into a little bit deeper with their superstar, because he has logged some significant minutes during this stretch. But just being on the road, the sleeping patterns wouldn't be the same being in a hotel as well, and no home-cooked food. So all of that plays into it. And if you are Perth, you just think, we just need one more win on this road trip to get back to our own bed, to get back to our families. As Nick Marshall into the game, knocks down a three ball. The ball movement from both teams, really pretty to watch so far.
They trailed by 6 not long ago. Lead by 3 now. And a good response by the 36ers. Saar creates something. Draws the foul, points are good.
Just a tough finish.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know what kind of scorer Bryce is, as we see Starling get the ball out to Nick Marshall there for a 3. We know how good of a scorer he is, but he's also a playmaker. And somebody as big as Alexander Saar coming down, rolling, just throw it up there, let him catch it, and finish the basket.
Of course, basketball fans, don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get access to the world-beating Chicago Bulls when Luke Longley, Horace Grant come to Australia. The No Bull Speaking Tour presented by Coca-Cola consists of 3 epic shows in February 2024. Don't miss out on this epic event. Tickets available nbl.com.au/No Bull.
I'll take that as a birthday present, Sauce, if that's right. We can get on front row.
Yeah, I get some tickets.
Thank you.
And a high-quality start to this one as Wagstaff does what he's done so often, takes a charge.
Yeah, that was there. Wagstaff was standing still for about a week. Yeah, Isaac Humphrey's a bit sore after that.
How many charges do you reckon Jesse Wagstaff has taken in his 450-plus games in the NBL? It's tremendous.
Probably the same number.
Yeah, it's too close.
It might be similar.
That's... Well, fingers crossed. We'll keep an eye on Sars at the other end. Marshall was able to get a lob, but the top 2 NBA prospect has slipped on the logo.
It's a clear slip.
Thankfully, he looks to be okay, but
What about it? I can't call.
That's got to be a player's worst nightmare. Al.
Yeah, well, geez, we're all holding our breath. We're all full breath right now. He's okay. He's going to continue.
Them young legs, you know. I know at 30, I might not have gotten up as fast as he did there on that one. So it's definitely good to see him backing about, and you know, it looks to be recovered pretty well.
I just dodged the bullet. I'm really hoping that there is no remote for Liam Santamaria's TV right now. Just everything's okay. He's still out there.
Christian Doolittle just racked up his 10th point of the quarter. Coming off his 2nd highest score of the season, those 17 points we spoke about. Vasiljevic just not able to get that one to fall. Don't strike the strike though early, Adelaide, with this Wildcats team, and another foul, and that'll send Bryce Cotton to the line.
That's 2 fouls for Vasiljevic, and I'll tell you what, might be some Sunday Dutch music.
Hold it.
Thought this might be the case. In a game like this, you fall out of the rotation, but go back to a trusted source, an elite defender.
And that's going to happen throughout a season, right? You're going to have your ebbs and flows of minutes for certain guys. Obviously, they have a plethora of different guards that they can go out and throw out, but Sunday's a pro. I'm sure he's been working hard and staying ready, and looking forward to having this matchup with Bryce Cotton yet again as Bryce knocks down both free throws.
Yeah, the kids shouldn't worry about calling out Hungry Jacks when Bryce Cotton steps up to the stripe. He was 14 of 14 in that win against Cairns. Free throws were a huge factor in that game. They shot at 90%, the Wildcats. And they're the #1 team when they get to the free throw line. Wins is wild attempt from Starling. Now Wagstaff in transition. Sar wanted the lob. Wagstaff didn't see him, and then Usher just puts the head down.
A little overzealous there after that miss from Jordan Usher. Oh, man, they're pushing in transition, the Wildcats.
Yeah, bonus.
Both teams are in the bonus. Walk down and shoot 2 free throws. And up and down first quarter, which, if I'm Adelaide, I think I'm going into that with the game plan of thinking we've got to really try and push the pace because of this road trip they've been on. A lot of minutes into a lot of guys' legs. You could tell in that Cairns game that Perth were trying to get some minutes in. We saw Ben Henschel get on the floor. We saw Kyle Zunic get on the floor. Just trying to rest their superstars ever so slightly, as much as you can, while still getting a win. It's come the 4th quarter. If they can keep this pace at a high level, probably some guys taking some deep breaths.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the NBL ladder, right? And the beauty of the point system that we have here in this league. Every game matters. Every single possession matters. And you want to push that pace and that tempo. And Adelaide believe that if they are able to speed this game up, they have a good chance of getting this done.
Cotton gives up the look for a better look. That's Wagstaff.
And there's just got to be someone else rotating there, because Sunday Detch did his job. He got the ball out of Bryce Cotton's hands. Looked like he was about to rise up and shoot. There's no rotation to Wagstaff. He's shooting the ball at a good clip.
There's Marshall getting some good minutes in this first quarter. Goes to the left hand. Nice finish from the youngster.
Over the 7-footer too. That's a tough finish there, going downhill like that with his left hand.
7 points and 3 of 3 shooting for Nick Marshall.
It's pretty. It's for lefty mignon.
So they are 10th in the league for scoring Adelaide 36 is Usher now is left open. And he's been in good form too.
This ball movement right now from Perth is exquisite. There's no one forcing anything. Won me a couple shots over contested hands. Everybody's moving together. It's really pretty basketball.
Marshall again, trying to play facilitator.
As we see here, a swing first, and then another swing, and then Doolittle drives for a swing for Usher. That's a perfect shot for Jordan Usher to see that first one go down and get going. But like you said, Pete, that ball movement, getting side to side, effective field goal percentage goes through the roof the more sides of the basketball you get.
There's Doolittle pulling down the rebound. Good hustle from McCarron. Forces the turnover. And now Starling. And this is their highest first quarter score for the year, the Adelaide 36ers. And they're going motor for motor with Perth in this first quarter. It's going to be Cotton. There's the matchup Pete all he wanted. Sunday Detch. Again, the ball movement. Doolittle steps inside and finishes with 12 first quarter points. He was the full locker player of the game a few nights ago, and he's continuing on his red hot form. Both teams firing on offense. We've got a good game of basketball on our hands. Stick with us. Big second quarter to come. Earlier in the season, when the Perth Wildcats rolled into the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, they scored 78 points for the game in that 11-point loss. But they've started all guns blazing here. 34 first quarter points for the Adelaide 36ers. They've also got their best first quarter for the season with 29. And it's been a good start. Christian Doolittle leading the way, 12 points. Isaac Humphries and Nick Marshall, the youngster, getting some court time, 7 points apiece. Good first quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. A high-paced, high-scoring first quarter. Obviously, one of these teams is going to have to crack down defensively if they want to pull away, but we love the entertainment going on early in Adelaide. So
we do, Sauce, but is this where the coaches at quarter time would have been speaking about defense?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they would have locked down and tried to find different ways. Obviously, Christian Doolittle got off to a great start, but there were mid-range shots, most of them contested. He's a tremendous player and can make those shots, but maybe something that Adelaide wants to live with. And then on the other end of the ball, obviously Perth want to get some stops and slow down Isaac Humphries a little bit.
That's exactly what they've done here. They've got the stop. And then Sarr again shows his athleticism. He's been good.
Interesting minutes here. No Cotton, no Pinder on the floor, so their best almost is going to come in transition like that before the defense is set. Sunday Detch tees one up from the corner. That's a good side. And you haven't played a whole lot of late to come in and not miss a beat, as you said. Sauce, that just speaks to being a true pro, being ready for your opportunity, knowing it's going to come in certain games.
And that'll do his confidence the world a good Sunday. Detch been struggling from the field, just 31%. Hasn't seen a lot of it in recent times.
He's also going to extend that leash a little bit, right, in a game like this, because he's on the floor without having to guard Bryce Cotton. So if you're contributing on the offensive end and not making mistakes, then you can obviously do what you do best defensively and stay out there.
Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. So he's obviously been staying ready as we see Jacob Wiley knocking down a great elbow look.
So Cal Kadee getting some minutes. Humphries, Wiley and Detch on the floor. Webster, Usher, Michael Harris, David Aquera. So a couple of players getting some minutes. And Alex Saar with the ball in hand here. Again, looking to take on Wiley. And again with another smooth move.
Just the leap. Just the shot fake and then just to take off. Probably could have flushed it as well. And this is why just all the NBA scouts, the eyes just light up ever so slightly.
Here's Harris looking to push the floor, push the ball up the floor, and again, easy layup.
So I'm going to show him on the stat sheet, but that's David Aquera's bucket. Yep. Call it a seal, call it an offensive linesman. He didn't look like he was facing the right way, but you see an offensive player coming and there's just one other player back and he's behind you. Just seal him up, right, Sauce?
And another guy that hasn't gotten a bunch of time this season. Aquera obviously had the year with Melbourne United last year, but good to see him out there mixing it up and getting the ball in his hand a little bit and creating some opportunities.
Usher knocks down the three, and it's Michael Harris who got the hand in at the defensive end and set him up.
Yeah, shooting the lights out. 77% from the floor, 57% from three, 4 of 7, 5 of 5 from the stripe.
And here's Detch looking for back-to-back triples.
And that's not going to do it for you if you're the Adelaide 36ers. The ball was stagnant, stayed in the middle of the court, no ball movement, quick swing and the three-point look. It's not going to be able to beat the Perth Wildcats when you're playing that brand of basketball.
And that's too easy. That's going to be a timeout. Scott Dennis, he hasn't liked what he's seen to start this second quarter. As Alex Saar helps himself to 9 points on 4 of 4 shooting. And we have a snooze timeout.
Well, just a breakdown defensively, and they're the compound errors you cannot have that Adelaide were having early on in the season. Okay, we get a poor shot. What do we have to do? We have to get a stop. Instead, they fall asleep defensively, and there's back-to-back errors.
Well, now's probably not the right time, but pre-game, Scott Dennis spoke about bringing the enjoyment back to the Adelaide 36ers.
At shoot-around yesterday, you spoke about bringing the enjoyment back to the players. That's obviously, you think that's important.
Oh, absolutely. I think sometimes along the way you tend to lose that. You know, what I said was, you know, at some stage everyone started playing this game because they loved it. And yes, it's a job and it's their profession, but sometimes you've got to remember that. And, you know, trying to make trainings enjoyable, trying to play a style of game that's enjoyable to play, I think is really important.
Well, winning's fun. Yep. So normally winning solves a whole lot, but it can be from the way you prepare, the way they start, where you get the crowd involved. I mean, we saw it last week against Brisbane the other day. Sorry, there's Brett Maher. There is greatness. He had a lot of fun playing. We're seeing it in Illawarra right now as well, right? It's just night and day from that re-energised spirit. Here is Alex Saar. That's the move I was talking about. Probably could have flushed it if you wanted with the left. Right now, Perth are just up and about, which if you're John Riley, you're ecstatic with this. Not just the shooting display, the unselfishness. Everybody's playing together and they don't look tired at all.
And the non-Bryce Cotton minutes, if those can be a plus for you, that's going to be massive as you continue your NBL24 campaign. Being times and finding times where he can get his rest and still be effective when he comes back into the game.
And Perth started this quarter on an 11-5 run without Bryce Cotton. As Cal looks to work his way inside, it's going to be a goaltend on Saar.
It is. You don't mind that, though. You want him going up there to contest everything.
Of course, we saw him have the great battle with Bobby Clinton, the two next star prospects. Clinton took the honours the other night, but Wildcats got the win.
That Next Stars program has just been tremendous for this league, and just the talent that Liam Santa Maria and his people have been able to bring over international, all over the place. Just to see that talent continue to grow in this league as this league grows, it's a tremendous thing to see, and I know the fans love it.
Trent Flowers in the game. There he is, another next start. So we can bring a bit of energy to this second quarter. Here's Cal. They want to go down to Wiley. He's got Webster. Takes his time. Here is Flowers, the next start. Can you get it to fall?
It's a good look. I think the substitution's ready to check in.
Gave it up. Usher.
So see the subs about to come in. Sauce, you mentioned the non-Bryce Cotton minutes. That was an extended rest. We have not seen this rest from Bryce Cotton of late. Have a look at this, the marathon man. These are the minutes he's played recently. 45 minutes in the overtime game. He didn't sit. He played 40 minutes against Sydney. He played 43 minutes in the first overtime game against Melbourne. He actually had a 1 minute and 54 seconds rest in the last 2 games. So that was an extended 3.5 minutes. He wouldn't know what to do with himself.
It's incredible to know what kind of shape he's in first and foremost, but his ability to still continue to make jump shots after playing that many minutes, as we see Aquera getting a chance to get an opportunity to get into this game and show his skill set as he gets to the free throw line there.
It's actually been one of Bryce Cotton's best traits since he's come into the league, as Aquarius is going to go to the line there, as you said, is the fact that you look through history, when he hits the big shots late in the fourth quarter, when he takes over games, he doesn't have to worry about hitting the big shots because the game's been put to bed. A lot of that is his motor. He runs off numerous screens all game, and by the end of it in the fourth quarter, everyone's exhausted but him, and he rises to the occasion. But there are a lot of minutes, and there's a lot of games left in the season.
Silencing the kids that were looking for the Hungry Jacks.
He had no faith. He started going to the read.
I was just seeing what the code word was, just in case.
I've called a game, and he was doing the same thing. When
you missed that first shot. Anything,
does the pressure build slowly? You hear all the kids?
Nah, not really. I'm always happy to give out free cheeseburgers. I don't mind it too much.
You're a man of the people.
That's it.
Here's Flowers putting on some moves. Pinder, offensive. I got the rebound, so I should say. He was quite offensively. Can't Pinder get the score in this game. Here is Cotton. Well, I went Cotton watch tonight, Pete, because I saw something today. The one thing out of everything he's done in his NBL career, he hasn't scored 30 points in 3 consecutive games.
It's in his career in total.
Yeah, so he's on track.
He's never scored, which is incredible for that greatness. He's never scored 30 straight in 3 games.
He's got the 7 first quarter points. That's why he gets up to 7 as well.
I think he's on 7, but it only takes him a quarter to score 23.
Crowd don't like that call.
I wouldn't mind having another look at this. This is what's going to happen with Bryce Cotton, right? The physicality off the ball.
We go white here.
Letter of the law, it's going to be a foul, but it's hard because you have to be extra physical, right, with the great ones off the ball.
Yeah, it's difficult to guard them without touching it, you know what I'm saying? And so that's where you got to try to find the balance when you're guarding a guy like Bryce.
Again, if Trey came out his time again, to try and beat him to the spot, put his hands up and just go through the chest, right? As soon as you put your arm across and you allow someone to get underneath that arm especially, and they're not in legal guarding position, it's going to be an easy foul call.
336ers all went up for that rebound. Zach Humphries wasn't happy, they popped it up. Forced the missed field goal and they get it back. There's Webster. Oh, a bit of an acrobatic shot, couldn't get the form. Pinder, as he does, attacks the boards.
First 2 points of the game. Keanu Pinder's been active on the glass.
I think Adelaide showed a better defensive resolve there, but you got to finish the play with the rebound. And Keanu Pinder is one of our best offensive rebounders we have in the game. Got to know where he's at and box him away from the basket.
Yeah. Shout out to Keanu Pinder playing his 100th game tonight. Of course, played his first 35 games. His first season at the Adelaide 36ers. Before going to Cairns and now calling Perth home. Webster putting on the moves, good defence from Humphries. They get a stop.
Good defence by Vasiljevic to start with. Humphries, that's what you want from your big guy coming across late. You've done all the hard work, just send him into the trees. And reward the big fella down the other end.
The big man couldn't finish. Anyway, some good hustle from Flowers means they'll keep possession. He's trying to get a bit of energy in the building.
Well, they need to get some stops. He's giving up 50 points. 4 minutes to go in the second. I'm going to get it done. As Ben Henschel checks into the game. Back-to-back appearances now for Ben Henschel.
So really going deep into the bench with his road trip as Isaac gets this one to fall.
Great feet work there. And I say feet work, I know it's footwork, but I say feet work from the big fella there to see him catch that ball on a short roll, get that little drop step in there and just finish it right over the top of the basket.
You had me sold, to be honest. Also, that sounds right.
Yeah, feet work.
Here's Doolittle.
He actually made an elite defensive play a couple of possessions ago to make Flowers step out of bounds. And as I said, defensive player of the year, strong narrative doesn't hurt your chances. And to get that going early, I tried, but now it's out there. And it does make sense because he's been a big reason why they've become a very good defensive team. There's no sugarcoating out at the start. They were very poor, and they've been very good since. And the NBL especially, it's going to be a top 3, maybe 4 defensive rated team to contend for a title. There's just no other way to win it.
Adelaide have got to be careful here, trying to keep keep the Wildcats off the free throw line in their wins. Perth, they are number 1 in the competition for free throw attempts at almost 30 a game. That drops down to 19 in their losses. So they love getting to the line. As we said, they shot 36 from 40 in that win against Cairns. Plenty of whistles. And they just held on by 3 points on 8 of their last 10.
And I think a really important thing about defending a team like Perth is I'm going to use a term that I heard Scott Roth use after one of the games. It's foul discipline. Understanding that if you can keep them off the free throw line and force them to shoot contested jump shots, you give yourself a much better chance at getting the win against the Wildcats.
A lot of that is not getting those little ticky-tack fouls off the ball that pile up, and then those ones where clear as day, you're just in the wrong spot. It's the 5th foul, and all of a sudden they're in the bonus with a few minutes to go in the quarter.
It's hovered around this 10-point margin throughout this second quarter. So again, they feed Humphries, who uses that bulk, helps himself to another 2.
That was a better offensive set. And a couple of possessions before that, their timing was all off. You had guys leaving before screens were set. Isaac Humphries was open on a flex screen, but didn't catch the ball until he was nearly on the 3-point line. All their timing's been all over the shot. That was better, and they get a layup out of it.
So to 11 points. Isaac Humphries as Tyron Harris, that's the offensive board. And now Cotton just needs a little bit of separation. Leaves it short. Get the score in this second quarter, the champ. There's Vasiljevic, just the 2 points for him in this game. And Humphries again. Feeling good about himself.
Big fella is having his way. He's getting to his spots. We've seen him shoot that shot now 3 or 4 times. And that thing is going in for him. He's found his rhythm. He's found his flow. And like you said early on, they want to get him going. He needs to get shot attempts for them to win games.
And he's enjoyed this matchup. The first 2 meetings, he was averaging 22 points at almost 80%. And then for whatever reason, only had the 5 field goals last time they played Perth. The field goal attempts, I should say. There's Vasiljevic. Goes and gets his own rebound. Draws a foul.
Going to go to the line here. Vasiljevic, good hustle, but we've been talking about Christian Doolittle, right, as Defensive Player of the Year candidate. This is exactly why. This was the possession Isaac Humphries scored. Just watch this. Just playing physical with your hands out. DJ Vasiljevic not biting in the shot fake, doesn't get screened, fights over, stays down, disciplined, not jumping, not leaving his feet, forcing the pass. That right there is exactly why he will be a finalist, I believe, if he keeps this up.
So snooze timeout. Back within 6 points. Make a good fist of it, Adelaide.
Yeah, absolutely. I like what DJ was doing on that last possession. He's trying to get himself going, trying to create opportunities for himself and see the ball go in the basket. Obviously missed that 3-point shot in the corner there, something that he's been known to do, obviously, throughout his career. But to get that offensive rebound, to stay at it, to keep going and being aggressive is massive. So here just comes down. Off his leg, kind of a scramble play, but this is where he's really deadly and dangerous, and you got to find him. Typically makes that shot, but knows it comes off short, gets his rebound, draws the foul, and now he's going to get to the line, knock down 2 free throws, see him go in, and that basket's going to open up for him.
Just going to stay a little composed right now. You can kind of see that he is on edge, just trying to get that damn wall to break, and I know he should be looking, okay, we're just down 6, and I haven't really got going yet. I haven't had a whole lot of opportunities, but we've still put up 44 points. And this can be a guy, we've seen it, especially in the 36ers jersey, he can break a game open. Whether it's the third quarter or it's the fourth quarter, just got to stay ready for that. Oh, there's greatness right there. And Cole, great to see him still courtside. He's battled some health issues recently.
DJ Vasiljevic, game 100 for him as well. Most of those with the Sydney Kings. Well done to him, as we touched on his last 3 games under Scott Ninnis, and giving a bit more responsibility, averaging the 25 points at over 40% from the field, almost 5 assists a game. Taking on a more leadership role as this season rolls on. 3rd in the league overall, averaging the 20 points per game. And they're back within 4.
You're looking at potential most improved player numbers with what he's done. His efficiency's down, but that's still going to depend. Nick Marshall reads that well.
And the crowd enjoy that one. Keeps some good minutes here, Marshall.
And Keanu Pinder's frustrated because if you're Hiram Harris there, all you need to do is just wall up and jump out of the way, knowing that if Nick Marshall has to do any sort of pump or slow down, Keanu Pinder's coming to send that to Highland Street. Like, that's exactly how Keanu Pinder was set up. And all you got to do if you're chasing that down is just kind of get out of the way and slow it down if you're Hiram Harris.
Let's bring in John Casey, courtside.
Yeah, Joey, good fight back here from Adelaide. They've outscored Perth 12-5 here in the last 5 minutes, but they just need to make their free throws. It's been a problem for them right throughout the night. But Corey Webster, I spoke with him pre-game, and the good news for Perth fans is that he should play in their next game. Of course, they had a hectic campaign. This is their 3rd game in 6 days. They've been to Melbourne, to Cairns, and now to Adelaide. They go home tomorrow before they have to reset and go to New Zealand in a week's time. And Corey told me that he is hopeful of playing in the game against New Zealand. He's already missed 6 games this season because of the ankle problem, and it's just an old injury that has flared again. It's inside of the ankle and ligaments, and he just can't get it right at the moment. But he said he's hopeful, fingers crossed, that he's going to play in the Wildcats next game. That's great news for everyone in the league.
Case, I can barely hear you over there. That crowd is up and about after Nick Marshall diving on the basketball for the loose ball there, and that would have sent the roof absolutely off in the AAC.
Well, it was halfway down. But Case mentioned the free throws, you're 7 of 13.
If he's seen that they've both got hands on the ball when they're gone out of bounds, it's a jump ball situation. Both had the ball. So if 2 players at the same time have the ball and one is out of bounds, it's a jump ball.
There you go. That's perfectly
Great call and explanation, absolutely.
Because here I'm thinking, like, do they both, if they're holding it, have to step out of bounds at the same time? Like, so there you go. That's exactly what we want to hear. Yeah. That's why your mic refs up.
Here's Vasiljevic again. This time tries to attack with the left hand. Good offensive board from Starling. Couldn't finish his work, but they'll pick possession.
And there's that frustration just building right now. Vasiljevic 1 of 6 from the field. Like I said, he's just got to stay composed. Know that the opportunity will come. Knocks a couple down. Can really get hot.
Adelaide doing a tremendous job of creating extra opportunities for themselves. Although they're not falling, that kind of energy is what you need when you're trying to come back from a deficit that they started with.
Inside the final minute, first half. And a good little mini fight back from the 36ers. Pinder.
This is where I've seen their offenses and everything has changed. We talked about their defensive and positional changes since that slow start. I also think that they've tried to play to Keanu Pinder's strengths a lot more. Early on, they were trying to throw it to him back to the basket, go to work. He's not a big man like that. He's very unique in the way he plays. Pick and rolls is where he's at his best, but also those slide screens where he just gets out of it and you throw it to him on the move. As we have a look at the Harvey Norman replay here. This is where Keanu Pinder's at his best. Okay, he's got a different defender on him. He's caught the ball in rhythm, quick move, he can make a play.
Yeah, absolutely. Great find there from Bryce Cotton. Just playing really well in that 2-man game. They've been successful with it throughout the year. And like you said, Pete, Keanu Pinder coming downhill off of that catch. He's one of the quickest bigs that we have. He's a smaller in stature for sure, but so quick and so fast and so exposed to get to the basket.
And as an opposing big, you played against him too. When they keep going to him and back to the basket, that's playing to your strengths as a defender rather than when he gets it on the move. It's a lot harder.
One thing, it keeps the ball out of Bryce Cotton's hand when he's there playing in that back to the basket kind of vibe. But if he's in that two-man game with Bryce Cotton and Keanu Pender, it's almost impossible. What do? You're picking your poison there. Either Bryce is going to come off and you're too far back, he's going to knock you on a three, or you'll be too high and Keanu Pender is going to slip behind you for an easy basket.
Put all of that and some other wrinkles into it for sure, and that's why they've become a really good basketball team since the slow start.
Just need to finish out this last 30 seconds. Good find from Vasiljevic. That's what he's been doing well. They keep it within 6. Can they get a stop? Entertaining first half. The Adelaide Entertainment Centre. 36 are looking for back-to-back wins. Good defence again. Galloway. And that'll see us out for half-time. Perth Wildcats win the second quarter, but only by a point. And Scott Ninnis will be reasonably happy with what he's seen in the first half. His team are within touch.
I think we'll be very happy. I mean, they only gave up 5 points in the last 4.5 minutes after they were leaking points early and often. So something changed and they made good things happen.
I think a big thing is, too, the rotations got shorter. He started to play more guys, and it cut that rotation really quickly.
Well, let's get down to John Riley, who has a man in his 100th. Let's get down to John Casey, who's down with the man playing his 100th game.
Thanks very much, Joe. Yes, Christian Doolittle's been the star here for Perth so far, but I wanted to speak to Keanu Pender. 100th game tonight, back where it all started at the other end, but things are going to plan so far?
Yeah, I guess I'm happy to be back in Adelaide, man, for my 100th game, and yeah, I'm excited about it. Hopefully we can get this win tonight.
This is your 3rd game in 6 days. Obviously the rotations are changing a bit. How are you finding it? It's a little bit disruptive?
Honestly, just a bit tired. Just want to go home and rest, but we're kicking on and we're going to try and win this game tonight.
Just one last one. What's going to be key in the second half to getting the win?
Getting stops and limiting them to offensive rebounds. You know, so we got to box out and get the boards and push the break. And I think we're going to do well.
Congrats on the 100. Love what you're doing.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you, Case. And a couple of weeks ago, our man Andrew Gaze jumped into the car with the Blackney family who attended a Hungry Jacks NBL game thanks to the Bunnings Backing Ballers program.
Bunnings is backing the next generation of ballers. Today we're going to have a heap of fun. I'm going to surprise a family. They're huge basketball fans and they love the Phoenix. I'm going to jump in the car. Hello. We're going to head down to John Cain Arena and we're going to have a blast. Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
God love you. How about those shirts? Do you like them?
Yeah.
The Bunnings Ballers.
Can I ask you a question?
My word, you can.
Is it true that you held the most score for 11 years?
I did. 11 seasons in a row. I was the leading scorer, but that was a long, long, long time ago, my friend. Hey, Meso, give me some love, brother. I thought you could wave this sign and maybe get the whole crowd to chant out, defense! Defense! Now, you might be saying that, but I just want you to know, in your head, you got to realise it's all about the offense.
Yeah.
It's all about shooting threes, getting to the rack, dunking on people. That's really what we want to see.
This is
to spend watching the whole game next week in a private suite with the entire team. This is amazing. What an experience. There's also a piece of history that you can place a bid on as well. So make sure you scan that QR code and start bidding. We're back here for our next home game on the 6th of January. We're taking on Melbourne United for a very special game honouring the 25th anniversary of that team. The whole team is going to be here. We're wearing the anniversary retro jersey to tip off 7:30. It's going to be huge. It's selling fast, so make sure you grab your tickets now from Ticketek as we get back to the action. She was amazing to start us off tonight. Lisa D next.
This bloke is in charge of setting 200 people and he's giving himself a $500,000 pay rise to do it. That's a slogan. Is there any money to back it up? That's not really for the people that start to show us inside. The animal is not considered to be dangerous. A lot of adverts coming in the media about this election. A lot of adverts coming in the media are hugely politically connected to the elements that are There are two little letters that can make or break a business. Done right, IT leads to productivity and prosperity, which is why the quality of your IT company is so important. At Comwire IT.
Half-time, Adelaide Entertainment Centre, and it's the Perth Wildcats leading the 36ers by 6 points. They led by 5 at quarter time. They're looking to make it 9 out of their last 11 wins. The Perth Wildcats, Adelaide looking to get back-to-back wins for just the second time this season, here with Alan Williams and Pete Hooley. Source, what's impressed you in this first half?
Yeah, Joe, I love Isaac Humphrey's intent to get to his spots. He's been a killer right there in the middle of the paint, getting to his right hook, getting to the little fadeaway that he has off the ball screen, playing the short roll on the dunker. He's doing a tremendous job of getting in his area.
Well, it's been a high-scoring first half, and a man who's coming off an equal NBL24 record, 16 rebounds the other night, Pete Hooley. Christian Doolittle, only the 2 rebounds in the first half, but he's doing it on the offensive end.
Yeah, he's
14 points.
Yeah, 14 points, 5 of 7 from the field, and we're going to keep hyping up how good he is defensively, but also he's just so patient on the offensive end. He's just a guy who never seems rushed. He's always going to play at his pace. He knows he's not going to be the quickest guy out there in terms of getting past his defenders. He's not going to have all the dribble moves. He's not going to be flashy. He's just going to use his strength, which is his physicality, gets to his spot there, the mid-range, knocks it down, can step out and shoot the 3 if he has to, but even that right there just shows his patience, and he's been really good for them. And to be honest, everyone else looks kind of tight, which you can expect. It's been a long road trip, but Christian Doolittle stepping up in his Blackmore shot chart. That right there is playing to your strengths. Get to your spot and knock it down. That's exactly what he's doing.
Well, big men love watching the big men go to work. You mentioned Isaac Humphreys. He's been super impressive with his footwork. You touched on that, but just being his touch around the paint.
Yeah, his feet work. Feet work. Nah, it's amazing to see him. You alluded to it at the beginning of the game. When he gets going, they're a better team, and they've made it a deliberate act to get him the ball in his areas. Just finding it right here, he's running the floor and showing all the different areas of his game, and just always ends up being in the right spot to be right around that basket and get an easy finish.
I think the key is, you said get it to his areas. It's rewarding him when he runs the lanes too, when he gets to the dunker spot. It's very easy to say, okay, we're going to give it to Isaac Humphreys, throwing the ball, and then everyone else just stands still. That's not a way where he's going to succeed. It's exactly what he did in the first half, and that's why he's been so efficient.
And DJ Vasiljevic just the 5 points, or 4 points in that first half. But Adelaide are within touch. They're playing some pretty good basketball, and they've got a full house at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre to try and get them over the line. Well, the basketball doesn't stop because there are 2 cracking games coming up. Tomorrow night, the Sydney Kings host the Cairns Taipans. That'll be an absolute beauty. You know, that'll be an up-tempo game. The Kings and both the Taipans looking to bounce back and get some wins. And then Saturday night, another beauty, the Brisbane Bullets. They will be hosting your South East Melbourne Source, who defied a few critics with a big win the other night.
Absolutely. We had a good time down in Tassie. Hobart was good to us, and so we're looking forward to getting back out there and getting up to Brisbane and hopefully trying to get a win up there as well.
Another couple of beautiful games to continue. Round 13. Well, we'll take a short break here because a big second half to come. We can't wait for the basketball to continue. Both teams back out on the floor. It's second half, not far away. Adelaide trailing by 6 points. And well, we're always on Bryce Cotton watch every time he plays. Pete, he had 7 points in the first quarter, knocked down a couple of triples, but just the 2 points in that second term. And you're not telling me he's starting to see a bit of he's human, is he? He's looking a little bit fatigued.
I mean, you heard Keanu Pinder as well. I think the whole team inevitably will be tired. And whether that's mental fatigue, whether that's physical fatigue, it's one thing. But no one on this Wildcats team has played more minutes than that man. As we have a look at it again, these minutes are going to be inevitable, and they're going to catch up to him at some point. So the more rest you can try and get into him towards the end of the season, the better. As I said, he's got a better motor than anyone, so he can obviously be at his elite level still, better than anyone else would have to go through these kind of minutes. But not only is he playing 38 minutes, 45 minutes a game, he's getting hounded for that and having to sprint off screens for all of that. So if you're Perth, if you're John Riley, you want games where you can kind of push it out a little bit and get him some bit more rest.
I'm speaking about the big man for the Adelaide 36ers, Sauce, Isaac Humphries, but Alex Saar, the youngster, he's doing some nice things at the other end.
Yeah, 4 for 4 from the field. Perfect, as they say down there, and just finding ways to be effective, using his length on the offensive end and still being effective as well on the defensive end, showing what the NBA scouts truly love about him. That's his length and versatility.
A lot been spoken about the Perth Wildcats' third road game in 6 days. Can the 36ers take advantage? 4 of their 5 wins this year have been at home in front of their home crowd. Big third quarter. Round 13, Hungry Jacks NBL. Both teams going back to their starting 5s. Webster, Doolittle, Cotton, Hiram Harris and Pinder. And they go to the man who had 14 first half points. He kicks it out to Harris. Flowers, Cal Humphries, Wiley, and Vasiljevic.
I'm sure exactly what that offensive set was trying to get. Tristan Doolittle caught that too far out to try and back down the entire way. There was no off-ball action, and in the end, the 36ers defenders could all help out. But there he is again on the defensive end, Joey.
Almost made a meal of it the other end, but gets to Cotton. He's still got some spring in those legs. He's had a little freshen up at half-time, and he's in the double digits.
Absolutely. Good sign for Perth Wildcat fans out there to see him knock down a contested 2-point jump shot and just shooting it over to the defender. Good sign that he's still fresh and has some more in them legs.
Vasiljevic, just the 4 points in that first half. There's Humphries, good to see him attack the offensive board.
That's elite. That's elite. To come in there flying on your way down somewhere, find the backboard and get that ball up there. Great to see Isaac Humphries attacking the whole glass there and being rewarded with the bucket.
He leads everyone on the floor. 15 points for the game. There's Hiram Harris again dropping the shoulder and getting to work. Easy bucket.
I want to ask you, Sauce, actually, because normally I was going to ask you what's your favourite non-John Cain arena to play, but I want to ask, what's the best place to rebound at? Because the rims, the background, everything, is there a certain one where you just like, I like the way that it comes off on the misses?
No, that's a great question. RAC is a great place to make boards. Yeah, I love the jungle because it kind of deflates the crowd a little bit too when you get that defensive stop, as we see here. DJ Vasiljevic just trying to find his way offensively in this game as he drives to the basket, but comes up a little bit lame there. Hopefully he's okay and we don't have another incident.
Just need a knee.
Yeah, you're right.
Need a knee. So just a little bit of a, what do you guys call them? Corkies?
Corky, yeah.
Corkies out here. Yeah, so you probably have a corky and
welcome. You're officially Australian. Thank you.
Cheers. They are called Charlie horses where I'm from. I never met a horse named Charlie, but anytime I get a knock on my leg, that's what we call it.
And what rolls off the tongue better?
I like corky.
Thank you.
I gotta get used to saying it. You know
I think it's question 4 on the citizenship test.
There it is. Who's your footy club?
Yeah.
And what's a corky?
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Pete.
Sorry, their issues from the free throw line. 36ers, just 8 of 15. So that's 7 points would level it up. That's not the case. They trail by 7. They've got to get some stops to the defensive end because Bryce Cotton has come out after half-time and gone bang, bang.
And there it is again, the two-man game with Pinder and Bryce Cotton. It's a lethal combination. Right there, Bryce just comes off that ball screen and knocks it down.
And they force another turnover, Perth. So they're just up the ante here to start this third quarter.
That break glass in case of emergency on the bench for Adelaide.
It's Vasiljevic at the moment.
Could be getting closer.
Cotton.
Break glass in case of emergency, Joey.
Uh-oh, there it is. And just like that, the superstar's up to 17 points.
I think someone's chirping him. Here's the Harvey Norman replay. That's what we talked about, Sauce. That's just too low. You have to pick your poison. I wouldn't be picking that one. And this one right here, Bryce Cotton. With all the hard work, kept it out of his hands. It's deep. Doesn't matter. He's feeling good, and I think someone's chirping him.
He said, talk that stuff now. Is his exact words that I read from his mouth. Hey, I can't say it, but man, you can feel it.
If someone's chirping him with a quiet first half, that is foolish with a capital PH.
Well, we spoke about the form he's been in over the last 10 weeks. This was his first 7 games when the Perth Wildcats were 2-5. There was all the talk about John Rillie. This is when I think his wife might have come out and said something on social media. And from that moment, he took accountability of this franchise, and he has just been on some sort of tear.
He's a leader first and foremost. He put his hand up and said, hey, this was me. I'm not playing at the level that I need to play at in order for this team to be successful. Took it on himself and is now doing his thing.
So, 3-time MVP. He's been a 6-time leading scorer, all NBL team, sorry. Could this potentially be his best season, his most impressive season, if this continues from where he started to how he's been able to turn it around?
He ends the season at this rate, for sure.
Yeah.
Just the efficiency, the numbers that he's putting up has just been unbelievable since that slow start. And I think there's more. I think the massive off-season signing of Keanu Pinder and where he was at and the trajectory that he was at, I think, to Bryce's credit, being unselfish, he was so worried about how do we get the best out of Keanu, how do we get the Cairns Keanu Pinder to Perth, and he was worrying about trying to get that sorted when you can see in the offense and everything, rather than realizing that he's still the best player in the league and that Keanu Pinder will be the best player he can be for this team alongside me as the games progress.
And last time he was in this arena in round 4, he was 2 of 15, Bryce Cotton. He was having all sorts of trouble at that stage. Now he's 5 of 7 tonight. Here's Pinder. He can knock it down. Webster attacking the offensive board. Cotton tried to reposition, but Doolittle liked what he was going to do, but Wiley got up there, got the rejection. Some good defence. Can they turn it into offence?
And Doolittle there is frustrated because I'm thinking in that position, you're backing down. You're trying to find where Bryce Cotton is. You know he's coming around the three-point line somewhere for a quick little easy dump off for a three-pointer there, but he felt Trey Kale jump on that left side, and so he spun back, and Jacob Wiley did a tremendous job of timing that block and getting it out of there.
Trey Kale, that's short. Their offense is stagnant right now, the 36ers, and that's not a good thing when this man's starting to get rolling down the other end.
Just the 3 points for Adelaide.
Just too low. It's just too low. Well, you just can't. You've got to. If you're Isaac Humphries right now, you've either got to be completely at the level, let Bryce Cotton go around you, and then he's somebody else's problem. You've got to trust your help defense.
And he has 11
That's
points.
all you can do. That's just, you get stuck in no man's land. And
11 points in the first 4 minutes of this quarter for Bryce Cotton. There's Doolittle. Swats that one away. And his bench like it.
He's elite, man. I'm telling you. We're starting to see it a little bit more and more. And I think why I'm underappreciated for a little bit. It's just because he's so nonchalant about everything. That's the first bit of emotion you've really seen from him.
But that energy from the Perth bench there, too, they know about. They know. They understand how good they have to be defensively if they want to win a championship in this league. And so celebrating those defensive plays, celebrating stops like that is going to be massive along their journey.
And I keep bringing back to how defense wins NBL championships. There's always one or two leaders of that train, right, who set the tone. When you look at Melbourne United, Shea Ely, Matthew Delvedova, those two guys set the tone every single night on that end. Sydney Kings, that first championship, Justin Simon. You've got those guys, those tone setters, and everyone else comes along for the ride.
And for Perth, it's Christian Doolittle and Hiram Harris, yeah?
Yep.
Gotta be.
100%.
They're bringing every single night on that end of the floor.
On that starting unit, and this could be trouble.
Tried to be unselfish that time. And Wiley will get the scraps at the other end. They're just hanging in at the moment, the 36ers. Try to hand it off, Bryce, to Pinder. Doolittle thought about it. And Hiram Harris saw the matchup and Vasiljevic took it himself.
And what we're seeing right now is the Adelaide 36ers are starting cross-matched, right? They're putting their guards on the bigs like Hiram Harris, Christian Doolittle, so that when they go and hand off to Bryce Cotton, they've got their guards on to Bryce Cotton. So if you, the Wildcats, if you're Doolittle and Harris, that's how you punish that. Just get down low and score.
Well, we've spoken about the impact of Hiram Harris in this Wildcat side. He spoke during the week about how he wanted to stay at Adelaide 36ers. He wanted to stay, and they didn't really have an offer for him. Perth offered him a 2-year deal. It's been a great pickup by the Wildcats. As Ty Webster picks up his second foul. He's fouled out 3 of his last 4 games, Ty Webster.
There's another one, though. Probably haven't sung his praises enough about fitting in the role. And again, every team is going to have those superstars where how do you best complement those superstars on the team? And he's definitely done that to the best of his ability this season. He's been really good.
I think for the Perth Wildcats, the talent's always been there. We saw it in the Blitz. We saw it early on in the season. Credit to John really and his staff of just sticking with it, being patient, trusting the process. And that's the reason why they are here where they are today. And it's just, it's great to see that patience from the coaching staff.
Wagstaff had all day to knock that down.
And Wiley and Vasiljevic just watched that. And again, this is what happens when you let Bryce Cotton get rolling. He's got 20 points. Everyone's worried about where he is. Jesse Wagstaff wide open. That's a layup.
So just need to show some resolve here, the 36ers. It's got to hang in.
If they're going to get back into the basketball game, it's going to fall heavily on DJ Vasiljevic's shoulders. He's going to have to make some big shots, some big threes. But
Wagstaff just slips into another one.
Yeah, if you're trading, it's going to be hard to come back from that.
Well, kind of Wagstaff heat check. I'm here for it.
3 from 4 from long range. Just a little fun fact. Pete playing his 63rd game against the Adelaide 36ers.
A lot of games. Yeah, he's had a lot of games. We're talking about the rivalry, how long it was going for him.
Half these blokes haven't even played 60-odd NBL games. Just Cotton. Can't get that to drop. There's Cotton still working hard at the defensive end. Marshall stepped out of bounds.
Great effort. Here's that possession I was talking about. That was Wiley and Vasiljevic both saying, I just want to get the ball out of Bryce Cotton's hands. There's the heat check from Jesse Wagstaff. Alex Starling, it's actually not the worst closeout because that was NBA range. What are we, 10 points away from his 3rd straight 30-point game that he's never had.
Adelaide goes into a zone here and they punish it.
If you don't practice zone a whole lot early on in the season and just try and bring it out a couple of times in the games, there's going to be gaps. And also what it is, it's a very passive defense.
I think, too, Pete, you got to have a clear directive of what you want. Is it take away the 3? Is it take away the middle? And that's what your emphasis is. It can't just be you standing there with your mates and just holding your arms up as we see Jason Kadee get downhill and finish with the right hand. It has to be a deliberate reason why you're getting into it.
And they're trying to spark energy right in this crowd. The zone doesn't do that. The zone, as I said, it is passive where it's a step off and you allow teams to kind of get where they want to get to. That's going to help plays like that.
Got some experience on the floor, McCarron and Kadee. A couple that we've spoken about is going to get limited minutes only a few games ago.
They played a couple of games under Scott Ninnis where you just see those patches where they use Trenton Flowers, they get up and in full court, right, and try and speed teams up, and that's why I thought they looked really good.
Starting to get fouled. Doolittle didn't like the call. Well, we spoke about the no ball tour, but I'm looking forward to this one. Don't miss your chance to be part of the world famous Harlem Globetrotters global tour as they take to the court with fun moments of extreme basketball, innovation and unparalleled fan fun coming down under to a city near you. So get your tickets, www.hg2024.nbl.com.au. You ever seen the Globetrotters?
Absolutely love the Harlem Globetrotters. I can spin the ball on like most of my fingers now because of the Harlem Globetrotters. Seeing them do that, the energy they bring, it's great family fun. I might have to go check that out.
I'll get you tickets for that. You get the no ball tour.
There it is.
There we go. Now, this has been the problem right now for the 36ers at the charity stripe. They are 8 of 17. Now, we talk. It's cliche to say free throws win games, but look no further than the Christmas Day game that our man right here was in. The Phoenix could not have shot any more poor from the field, but they shot 27 of 29 from the free throw line, and they come away with a big win. They're 3 points. Right now they've left 9 free points at the line. I know the game's got a bit further out than that, but they missed 7 in the first half.
And the irony, out of all the statistics that aren't going Adelaide 36's favour, they're the #1 free throw shooting team in the competition coming into this game. That's 78%. So
it's also tough too when you're playing a team like Perth that can get on and run, and Bryce is looking for those transition threes, and if you're not making those free throws and they're getting it off of the rim and they're running, you're in a disadvantageous position there. As we see Tony Smith-Milner, who has checked into the game, thinking about what he's seeing out there on the floor right now from his squad. It's just, there has to be a spark right now from Adelaide.
And that's usually right. That's usually the Trenton Flowers and those guys that come in and just try and get up and in and spark something.
There's Galloway.
And also, their offense just hasn't been there in this third quarter. They're stagnant. There's not a whole lot of ball and player movement.
Just the 9 points in this third term, 36ers. Perth had just put them to the sword in this third quarter.
26-9 in this third quarter. What a run. You looking at this third quarter alone, that's going to be a travel. It's hard to think that this team's been on the road for the last week and a bit. Had some big games, big moments. And this is also, Phil John, really, this is really good because the way this is going, I'd be tempted to maybe start Bryce Cotton for the first 2 or 3 minutes in the fourth quarter and get your superstar some much-needed rest.
Here's Doolittle. Gets to the elbow, gets another one to fall.
Got to his spot. It's slow, it's methodical, but he knows where he wants to get on the floor. And no matter what you do there, any kind of contest, it's muscle memory at that point. He's probably worked on that shot thousands of times, and that's why it drops as much as it does.
19 points, career high of 21, so that's on track.
Patience is just what impresses me the most. He's not going to rush anything, and as I said earlier in the game, he knows he's not going to have the ball handling to cross guys up, get downhill. I'm just going to say, all right, I'm going to take this really methodically. A couple little dribbles, get to my spot. Set source. I think he'll close his eyes at that point, rise up, he's going to go down.
Is it safe to draw a Kawhi Leonard type comparison?
We were talking about it, and I'm so scared to bring up comparisons when I know exactly what you're saying, and I'm here for it.
And it's just the two-way player, able to handle the ball, great in the mid-range, takes his time. He's not a lot of emotion, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's there, maybe it's not, but hey, I'll figure out, throw it out there.
Final 30 seconds, summed up the third quarter for the Adelaide 36ers. They struggled to buy a bucket. Perth Wildcats put them to the sword. They lead this one comfortably and will look to get their 9th win in their last 11 games.
Family, thank you very much to Think Road Safety to make the decision, which is best for your family on the way home. Obviously, we want you to make it happy and safe. Through to 2024. Now tonight we have a husband cam, we've had a dad bod thing, and now we've got the fantastic Dribble Eating Challenge, which is weird. But that's okay, say up to the cup. Dylan and Kieran are here tonight, boys. It is very easy. All you need to do is be the fastest person to finish your fantastic noodle, which is only up to the cup. The winning person who does it the quickest or finishes theirs will get some headphones and some thongs. They are nervous as and we love it. They smell delicious. Let's go, 3, 2, 1, here we go. Who would have thought coming to the basketball on Throwback Thursday you can see a noodle eating competition, but fantastic of being brilliant supporters here at Adelaide
Well, just as we dared to think Bryce Cotton might be a little bit of human and be slightly fatigued, he came out in the third quarter and in the space of 3 minutes blew this one wide open with 11 points in that quarter to go to 20 for the game. He just continues doing what he's done for the last 10 or 11 games, leading this side to what will be another victory. They lead by 25 points. Really disappointing third quarter by the Adelaide 36ers, but all credit to Perth.
Well, I mean, really, yeah, just defensively, the energy wasn't there. They had so many breakdowns in communication, and you just can't let Bryce Cotton get to his spot so easily, and that's what they did. And on the flip side, not that it should ever have to be said, if you're a courtside fan and Perth are coming, don't chirp greatness. You know, don't add any extra motivation.
It's going to be an unnecessary foul. The push on Saab. So Scott Dennis has gone with Trenton Flowers. We've got some experience around him. Jason Cadee, Sunday Detch, Isaac Humphries and Kyron Galloway. Cotton will start this fourth quarter along with Usher, Doolittle, Saar and Aquera. 6 points at half-time. 25. And Bryce gets up to 22.
And those 50-50 basketballs at this point in the game, you got to come up with those. You got to be the first one on the floor to come up with that. Somehow Bryce Cotton finds a way and gets the layup there.
He's 22 points on 7 of 10 shooting. 4 of 6 from long range. Flowers might get some extended minutes going up against his next star counterpart.
Here is Sunday Detch. I thought after Bryce's second three in the third quarter, the team seems a little flat right now. The crowd's taken out of it. I'm putting him in the game. I'm saying, look, we can't defend him in ball screen action. Just don't let him get it. That's what Sunday Detch does really well.
I like on the offensive end there what Adelaide did. It was next star versus next star. Trenton Flowers saw the big on him and drove to the basket and got the bucket. That's good to see from the young fellas. We see Alexander Starr stepping back and knocking down the three, able to space the floor so well.
And I'll tell you what, that was an important three for Alex Saar because he started off making 6 of his first 8 three-pointers, and he's only hit 6 of his last 32. Really struggling from long range, so nice to get one to drop.
He has already ticked that box, right, for the scouts that he can step out and shoot it. And this is interesting right now too. So there's 8.5 minutes left. Bryce Cotton has 22 points. We keep talking about the minutes and will they rest him a little bit down the stretch. But if we have a look at the ladder, Mitsubishi Motors ladder, have a look at the percentage. So Perth, the second spot, that's what they want right now. Because Adelaide, as we said before this game, closer to Perth is the second spot than Perth are to Melbourne. So they want to avoid the play-in tournament. Their percentage isn't great. So they want to try and hang on to it whilst also getting fresh legs for Bryce, keeping him rested, but also running this score up to worry about percentage. It will come into play. It comes into play every single year.
Aquera tries his luck from long range, and his teammates love it.
I love the excitement that his teammates are giving him. A guy that hasn't necessarily been in the rotation much this year, but gets his opportunity here tonight and has done well in the minutes that he's been out there.
What is also unfathomable, we're going deep in vocab today, Source, is that this Perth team is Aquera with the most unnecessary dive of all time for Bryce Cotton. Is they scored 4 points, or 5 points in the last 4.5 minutes of the quarter.
Oh, Flowers. Just maybe a little unnecessary sledge to Saar, but he's excited. Gets upstairs.
As we see the Harvey Norman replay here, back off of him. Aquera pulls up for the deep three, and then on the other end, Trenton Flower running the floor, steals the pass that was probably for somebody else, but catches it and slams it on the 7-footer Saar there with a little bit of extra chirp. You know?
So he, a bit of a shrug there from Alex Saar. And I'm just, they're obviously good friends with the Next Stars program. We've seen all the elite photo shoots and all the content. I'm wondering if Alex Saar, with the bit of the shrug, turned around and just said, it's a 30-piece nugget right now. There's not much more for him to say. But again, that's the energy the crowd wants, right?
Need it.
In Adelaide.
That's a guy that's playing for something bigger, you know, and understanding that no matter what the score margin may be, he still has to have that energy for this team. And if he wants to get to the next level, that's going to be super beneficial to any team that drives him. Is that energy and that athletic ability.
Showing some nice moves with the left hand.
That might be the second for lefty mignon we've seen.
That's nice.
You've gone Fiocco. I'm going to coin the other one. That's all right.
Yeah, I like that.
Relatively quiet night for County Pinder, who's been super form. As Humphries gets that to go, he's been the best of the 36ers tonight by far.
Yeah. Only one in double figures. 17 points, 8 of 12, really efficient. So you get a timeout here from the 36ers.
It's a big lead to the Perth Wildcats. They're doing this one comfortably away from home.
I think on that last play here, as we're trying to talk about the positives that we're seeing here from the Adelaide 36ers, just that side ball screen action there with Trenton Flowers and Isaac Humphries. That's going to be super important for Trenton Flowers at the next level, is his ability to handle the ball on the ball screen and make the right reads there. He took the ball downhill, gotten 2 feet into the paint and found the rolling big, and Isaac Humphries, like he's done all night, was able to make that basket.
Big question here, Sauce. Sean Paul, overrated, underrated, or just right?
I like Sean Paul.
Yeah, I'm with it.
And did you know he's talking about Sean DePaul, the cricket bowler, when he said Sean DePaul at the beginning of the
I saw that. Yes.
Something like that. Yes. About that. And so I found a new love for cricket since being here in Australia. I watched a couple of days at a test. So.
So 28-point lead to the Perth Wildcats. Cal Bruton in the house. Pleased with what he's seen, and I don't think this man is either. John Casey courtside.
Scotty Ninnis was really passionate in that timeout and challenged his players to show that they can defend here in the last 7.5 minutes. I mean, the Wildcats have racked up 92 already. They're going to just try and play man-to-man D here. They don't do any switching, and he challenged them individually and said, show me you can play defense.
That's going to help. Oh, yeah, 92 at this point of the game is absurd. It's going to be very hard to win any game.
Much better there from Isaac Humphries, just being in his stance, right, and playing that little cat and mouse game. You can't be too far back with Bryson, so he was at a really good level there on that ball.
And it's a near impossible task, right, to keep Bryce quiet. And a lot of the time, I mean, I've been saying recently, is there's really a couple of things you can do. It's one is try and not let him catch the ball, and the second one at times is just pray that he has an off night, which is very rare for it to happen. But you can't get caught in no man's land. It's just Christian Doolittle walks down to the spot and he misses one.
Wow.
Probably the easiest one of the night for Christian Doolittle. Would have equaled a season-high 21 points as Aquera gets the rejection, and Humphries follows up.
Very good. You're right. Isaac Humphries. 20 points now.
Doolittle again works to his spot. Lost possession, and there's Bryce Cotton just continuing to play with energy. Draws a foul. A little heart and mouth for the Wildcats bench to make sure he's okay.
He knows. He knows about these 30 points.
You think he wants the only thing he hasn't probably ticked off in his career?
Any time that ends up in the news or in the newspaper, whether it's him reading the newspaper, I'm not sure I see Bryce as the morning newspaper guy with the coffee. I would like to think he is. He's been here long enough, but someone sends it to him. Someone's talked about it, and
probably in a group chat somewhere.
100%.
Yeah.
He's never had 3 consecutive games scoring 30-plus points. He's gone back-to-back the last couple.
There's 24. It's going to be a really good percentage boost for Perth as well if they keep this up and even push it out a little bit further.
Of course, Adelaide have to butter up and play again on New Year's Eve in a couple of nights' time at Illawarra. The much-improved Illawarra Hawks, who are flying at the moment. So that's not going to be an easy task either.
Yeah, we went through the first part of the season, right, where everyone kind of penciled that in as a win. Not anymore. Really different outfit.
Here's Pinder looking to be aggressive.
That's really well defended. Isaac Humphries, and again, those are the possessions where that's where Keanu Pinder's at his best, putting the ball on the floor. He's very agile, he's very quick, but just throwing it to him at the three-point line and saying just try and get downhill is doing a little fake handoff. Didn't get Humphries on the bite. It's trying to get Humphries when he's already trailing, right, on the move. And He's got that advantage.
And again, I think it's just a matter of swinging that side to side. If he gets that on the third side of the action, now it's a much more open and spread out floor than trying to take it there on the first side.
And the NBL continues tomorrow night. Sydney Kings hosting the Cairns Taipans at 7:30.
That's a massive game.
Big fella is hooping.
Sure is. Again, that third quarter was unbelievably poor by Adelaide, and the back end or the start of the second quarter as well. Besides that, the first quarter they were good. The ball was moving. They weren't getting a heap of stops, but offensively it was flowing.
Flowers gets upstairs for a second time in the quarter.
There we go.
This gives the crowd a little bit to cheer for. Take a snooze time out. And then, as we said, the Perth Wildcats, they still do have one more road game to finish this run of 4, but they get a few days rest before they head over to New Zealand, January 7th. And then they're at home against your mob source, South East Melbourne on Jan 13, and then the Brisbane Bullets at home in round 16. Are they just starting to separate themselves, Perth Wildcats, as the second best team in the competition?
Oh, I think they are. And again, I'm super high on the Tassie bandwagon. We're still yet to hear the official word about Will Magnay. Again, from a couple of whispers that I heard and what I saw, I'm not hopeful. I think it has something to do with one of his previously re-aggravated feet. Again, we're waiting on official word for all of that, because hopefully he was just playing at such an elite level and he's such an unbelievable character. And with him in that lineup, I think Tassie was, they were up there in that as a second team. Not another legend.
There's some legends in the house tonight.
No, they're always there.
Yeah.
They love their 36s out green.
And I think that's one of the coolest things about playing against Adelaide is that they come out in groves and bunches, and they're loud and excited for their team and always looking for something to cheer for. And it's just great to see that sporting community down there in Adelaide.
I know Case touched on it off the top, but averaging over 8,500 fans per game this year at home, Adelaide 36, and despite the year they've had, they'll continue to come and cheer and support.
It's not too late, Sauce. You've been here, what, 18 months now?
Yep.
It is not too late to join the Mighty Crows bandwagon. It's not too late. You talk about the fans in Adelaide. We're not as bad as the other side of town.
Can't do it, Pete. Up to these all day. We see Trenton Flowers again finding ways to be effective on the offensive end by cutting, getting into those deep corners early in transition so they can create the advantage and cut back door and get easy baskets.
And again,
easy athleticism.
We heard about the timeout as they were trying to get him more involved. I think, unless it's a lob play, that's where he's at his best. Transition, and he's going to make the right read off the ball with those little backdoor cuts and when the defense falls asleep.
Vasiljevic, 9 points for him tonight.
This is going to annoy John really a little bit. Falling asleep, taking the foot off the gas. And it's hard to play with a big lead for sure.
Zivic's previous season low was 14. As Abrera looks to knock down a second triple.
That's how you try to beat Perth. You try to get the ball out of Bryce Cotton's hand and make somebody else try to beat you, and it's worked for them on that play.
Humphries is just doing all the work early. Got to his spot. That's an easy 2. And I'm a little bit surprised, I guess, that Bryce Cotton's still out here and no one else in terms of Doolittle and Keanu Pinder. I would have been more inclined to maybe have Doolittle, Pinder out there with Jordan Usher and some other guys and keep Bryce Cotton on the bench. If you're going to have to rest A-star, trying to get some extra rest into this man who's logged heavy minutes.
Usher leaves that one a long way short.
Still think you need a couple of the big ones out there to continue to help this percentage.
It does seem a bit unusual that out of all the starters, Bryce Cotton's the one out the floor.
Yeah,
they are trying to get the 30 points, but it doesn't really look like he's playing.
No, he's being very passive, and I guess that's where I'm a little bewildered by. He's out of all those main guys, but he's the one that is still out there. And there's going to be a coach's challenge here. Every point matters.
John Riley, he's gone for the coach's challenge.
Every point matters.
Just take a look at Isaac Humphrey's numbers in this game. He's been a standout. 24 points on 11 of 15 shooting, 5 rebounds, a couple of steals. His career high is 27 points, and only once has he had over 25, or twice I should say, has he had over 25 points in a game in his career, in his 101 games.
And that's one of the takeaways that the Adelaide 36ers can get from this game here is, one, the energy that Trenton Flowers has been able to play with here in the fourth quarter, getting downhill, like I said, getting to those deep corners in transition, finding ways to cut and get off with the rebound. But also, Isaac Humphries, obviously. You know you have that big guy in the middle there to be able to score the basketball, good feet work, good touch around the basket, and those are the positives that you can try to take away from a game like this.
It's really tough to see, but I think Jordan Usher has done a really good job at getting all ball when his hands weren't in the right spot, right?
Yeah.
And then it's passed when he kind of straightens up. So right there is all ball, and then that extra elbow from Flowers.
Yeah. Typically, anytime you break that plane of verticality,
that's what I think might hurt him.
Yeah.
He's got the 11 points, Trenton Flowers.
Because it does look like he does get a whole lot of ball, but you saw in all those angles, he's not completely vertical, right?
Coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The call on the floor on white 8 stands. We're shooting 2 shots.
There we go, exactly as we thought.
We'll get to the free throw line. Of course, we did the game earlier in the year where Trenton Flowers went off for 18 points in that fourth quarter against the Illawarra Hawks. Maybe think for Scott Ninnis, who continues to play Flowers. Nick Marshall has shown some nice things in this game, had 7 points early.
Okay.
Continue to play some of the youngsters.
One of those type of goals. All right, let me have a look back and we'll review that then.
And now we see Trenton Flowers with picking up the defensive assignment to guard Bryce Cotton.
I don't mind this at all either. Just try and use that athleticism. And again, it's easier in hindsight. We're all geniuses. That's going to be a travel there by a player. But after those first 2 threes in the third quarter, right? Maybe that's when you're not going to go to Sunday Detcher and elite defenders on the bench. Maybe you're saying to Flowers, hey, just go face guard him. Just don't let him catch the ball. Top block everything. Just try and make him really have to work for every single catch.
That might be the end of Isaac Humphries and DJ Vasiljevic for the night. They sit down. Humphries with the 24 points. Third highest score of his career. DJ Vasiljevic just for 9 points.
That's a transfer. Just ticked over the 33-minute mark for Bryce Cotton as well. Still out there.
Maybe he's still fresh, Pete. Only playing 33 minutes.
Oh, I have no doubt. But as we keep a track on them, there's a lot of games. They go on the road a bit too in the second half of the season.
Well, at least they've shown a bit of fight here. They were down by 27 points earlier in this quarter, Adelaide. And they're back within 14. They're not going to win the game, but they haven't thrown in the towel. As here is Cotton. Trying to get points 25 and 26.
Sunday Detch has done that a couple of times in very limited opportunities he's had. And I was just talking to Sauce about it before, is the kind of way you want to do it is that's going to be an arms foul. Is you can't guard him one-on-one, right? He's got too many good tricks with the ball. He's got an unbelievable handle. He likes to skip with it and put it into his left hand and kind of get on his tippy toes where he has 3 choices, right? But watch this. Sunday Detch gets a hand on it, but he also stands still close enough where he says, you're going past me no matter what. You're not going to put me on an island. You're not going to have me bite on a step back. I'm not going to close out and send you to the free throw line. I'm going to crawl right in. If I don't steal it, you're going past me, and someone has to step up. And if they don't, that's not on me. That's exactly the way you have to try and do it.
And if you have good foul discipline like they did there, you're vertically contesting. You're trying to meet him at the top of the apex there, and just hope he misses a shot open.
And exactly, that's all you can do. You guys in the league do the best you can, and then just kind of hope that they miss.
It's an offensive foul. Talk about their woes from the free throw line now. 12 of 25. 13 points they've left at the stripe, and 4 of 19 from 3-point range. Adelaide 36ers.
They're down 14. I mean, they've done very well in this fourth quarter to bring it back, because this looked like it was heading towards a 40-point blowout. This has been a very good display, and a lot of it has been the energy of Flowers. Got 13 points, but Humphries was a beast in this fourth quarter. Scott Ninnis will look back at the tape and just be like, well, what happened in the third? But to be honest, see this right here? I know it means nothing, but it sets a tone by being up the floor, right?
Absolutely.
It shows that we're doing something else than being passive.
Again, you try to take away positives from anything that happens. You lose big sometimes, you win big sometimes, but it's what you can learn from this. And again, seeing that you got a guy like Sunday Detch that can come in and try to limit a guy like Bryce Cotton, and Trenton Flowers coming in here in the fourth quarter and sparking the energy, or Isaac Humphries on the block, doing what he's been able to do this game. There are things you can take away from this going into the next game that'll be able to help you continue your season.
They are going to keep playing those younger guys like Flowers, Nick Marshall. I think they do need to be a bit more of an up-tempo defensive team as Ty Webster's gone downhill with that screen off the ball. Should stop the ball here. There's a foul. What a cop on right in the jejune. You've been hitting the jejune, Jackie?
The jejune?
Semi-pro. Come on, sis.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was the jejunum.
Is it?
Yeah, I think you might be saying it wrong, too.
Am I?
Twitter gonna let us know.
Yeah, true.
Twitter gonna let us know.
Feet work. Feet work.
Feet work. Whatever it is, it's gonna hurt tomorrow, for sure.
Can they try and notch up 100 points, the Perth Wildcats? I saw Pete, so they've done it back-to-back the last 2 games. They've only done that twice in 10 years. Have they gone back-to-back scoring 100 points? The last time they've scored 100 points 3 games in a row, got to go back to 2007-2008 season.
That's the 48-minute era.
So it's been 15 years since they've had 3 consecutive games scoring 100 points. Hopefully for my research and notes, they get there.
Well, they're on track for about 120 at one point.
I think they'll get it here. Cotton will get it back. And maybe not.
I'm just going to go on a limb.
All right. There's got to be hearty mouth stuff now with Bryce Cotton.
It comes off Al's hand and goes out of bounds.
And he's all right.
Just white ball.
The only thing I can think of is they know about this 30, right?
I'm holding my breath there. Whenever you see somebody diving on the floor for the basketball and somebody else is straight up, it's always that risk that you're running. It's scary, but both players seem to be okay. And
that's it. They've seen enough. He's going to be subbed out, the superstar, with 24 points, 7 of 15 shooting. He broke the game open at the start of the 3rd quarter.
Might not do it.
And the Perth Wildcats
might not raise the bat.
Are not going to get 100 points for the 3rd consecutive game. The streak's going to end at 2. Maybe. It's been a scrappy finish to this one.
Here we go.
Blue 32. Nick, force a turnover. What's that?
So it'll be up to young Ben Henschel to try and raise the bat. Try to get his first points of the night.
Just an overall really dominant defensive performance from the Perth Wildcats today. Obviously, they moved the ball well and everybody got their touches and a piece of the action. But I think on that defensive end, especially in the 3rd quarter, they really put on a clinic on how to switch and fly around and be a really pesky defensive team.
Well, they do get the triple figures for 3 consecutive games. It's been 15 years since they've done that. And in the end, it says 18 points. It was a comprehensive win by this juggernaut that is flying now, the Perth Wildcats. They've won 9 of their last 11. They win again on the road, back-to-back wins on the road. They've got one more road trip to do over to New Zealand before they can settle at home for a couple of weeks and have a crack at finishing top 2.
Yeah, comprehensive is right. I mean, that 1st quarter, there's no defense being played really by any team. But since that, they really locked in and they put the sword to them in the 3rd, just held them to 9 points. And I think that's been not just the impressive thing about tonight, but that's been the most impressive thing for me since they've turned it all around, is they've understood how important it is to be an elite, not just good, elite defensive team, and they've found ways to be that.
It was the 3rd quarter, 28 points to 9. That was the difference in the game. They led by 6 at half-time. Adelaide were hanging around, but just couldn't go with Bryce Cotton and the Perth Wildcats.
Yeah, I mean, he's special. We've seen it throughout this season, and Pete talked about this may be one of the best seasons that the NBL's seen Bryce Cotton have, just from the start of the year to now. and where this Perth Wildcat team is going and where they can go, it's primarily on Bryce Cotton's shoulders, and he's carrying the load as he always does.
Christian Doolittle was excellent again, particularly in that first half. He finished with 19 points and 6 rebounds, and we'll get down to John Casey, who'll have a very happy John Rillie with him.
Thanks very much, Joe. Yes, I've got the coach here, John Rillie, with me. And congratulations, that's a phenomenal 3 games. You know, you've had 3 games in 6 days, and to run that out strongly, you must be thrilled.
Yeah, look, we're just chipping away, trying to prove those doubters out there that we're a pretty good basketball team.
Tell me about that. Round 5, you're 8th on the ladder, 2 and 5. People are saying, well, maybe the Perth Wildcats don't have the right coach. You copped a lot of criticism. Did that ever wear on you?
What criticism was that? I've always believed in this team. I go about my business. I don't care what people say about how we approach it and what I do.
Tonight you get 100 for the 3rd straight game. Wildcats haven't done that for 15 years. It's a major accomplishment. Are you happier with your offense or your defense at the moment?
Oh, look, it's both. That's why at the start of the year we weren't playing great, because our offense, we weren't shooting well, but our defense wasn't creating easy looks. And you saw tonight we've come a long way, and it's amazing when we're locked in defensively what we can do.
Just on the bigger picture, you started a long time ago. You were Rookie of the Year as a player in 1995 with the Brisbane Bullets, won a championship here with Adelaide. Now doing what you're doing, what gives you the most satisfaction? Is it your playing days, or is it now trying to get this group to a championship?
Winning. That's what motivates me, whether I'm a player or a coach, is winning.
And you must be thrilled with the way that your players have responded to you as well, because the players themselves, criticism, but they've stood up, they've accepted different roles. You didn't play a lot of players and you changed the starting 5, so you've really had to, the players have had to embrace your change.
That's professional sport. We're paid to win. I got to find the formula that helps us do that. But what I would say is they're a phenomenal group of guys. I love this team. I always have, even when we weren't winning. Phenomenal group, and these guys I love, and we're going to go places.
Well, congratulations on that. Just before I let you go, I spoke with Corey Webster pre-game. He's hopeful of playing in New Zealand in the next game.
He plays pretty good in New Zealand.
Well done tonight. All the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Nice to see John Rillie too with a smile there. At the end, he's matter of fact and means business. But what he has done with this team, and I mean the culture of the Perth Wildcats, we all know about. But it's been phenomenal, just this 11-game run they've gone on and what he's been able to do.
And it is, and you heard him say what criticism. It was there, and it was understandably there. The way they started those first 7 games, it wasn't pretty to watch. I'm sure it wasn't pretty to be part of, and there was a bit of heat in there. And since then, he said he's trying to prove the doubters wrong. I don't think there's doubters anymore. I think they're clear-cut the second best team in the league, and they've shown that with not just the streak they're currently on and the way they're playing. It's also the way they've gone up against Melbourne United, those 2 overtime games they've played them, who are the #1 team in the competition. They've been elite.
Well, let's get back down to courtside because John Casey has the Foot Locker player of the game with him.
Bryce Cotton, another phenomenal display here. This has been a tough stretch, 3 games in 6 days. You played a lot of minutes. How are you feeling now?
I feel better now, knowing that we get to go home, rest a little bit. But we came out, got 2 out of the 3, so we'll take it.
Commentary team was speculating about you getting 30 tonight 3 times in a row. You'd never done that before, which is somewhat surprising. Were you aware of that stat at all?
No, not at all.
Tell me, what's been key to getting these wins and turning the season around from where you were back in round 5?
I think just making sure we start quarters great and end them great. The in-between is whatever, but you want to make sure you throw the first punch and then you finish the quarter going in with a little bit of more momentum. Jesus.
You are tight. I believe we know that. But tell us, because in-game, there does seem to be a huge contrast. Your first quarters are terrible. You're second to bottom. Your second quarters, you're the best. Third quarters, again, you're the bottom 2, but the last quarter, you're the top 2. Do you feel that sort of momentum shifting during games, or can you explain that anomaly?
Can't explain it, but you can feel it. And I guess maybe we're one of the best in the fourth quarter because so many games have been close. I think this is our first game all season where we've won by double digits, so we're probably just really used to tough games.
You must have a lot of belief in the group because you're right about the last quarters. You've won 5 games this year coming from behind in the last quarter. You guys just don't quit.
We can't. You know, at the end of the day, all the teams in this league, we're fighting for the same thing. So we just got to make sure we give it all we got and live with the results.
There's a bit of chat and speculation about your form right now, if this is the best form of your career. How do you see it?
Well, they come out and say that or talk about it every year, so I'll just take it as I'm getting better every year, and I'll roll with that.
Great to see you smiling. Congrats on the win. Best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Find Cotton getting better with age, and he was almost right. It was an equal season high, biggest win, 18 points. They did that against the New Zealand Breakers back in round 7. It was a comprehensive win. The Perth Wildcats take care of the Adelaide 36ers by 18 points. We'll be back after this to wrap it all up. The Perth Wildcats, they continue to roll in this Hungry Jacks NBL24. They make it 9 from their last 11, and they win by 18 points, an equal season high for them. The back of that man, again, Bryce Cotton, who had the 24 points. He had the most for Perth, equal most on the court with Isaac Humphries. Jesse Wagstaff chipped in, the whole team chipped in. In the end, they led by 5 points at quarter time. There was 6 points of difference at half time. We thought Adelaide were going to make a game of it, but then they blew the game wide open in the